Greetings, family. We have exciting news to share with you. You know, as every nation, a family of churches, we exist to honor God by planting churches and campus ministries in every nation. And we are about to extend to Croatia. Yes, my family and I are responding to the call of God. And we are so convinced that God clearly spoke to us about this step of faith. We've built some beautiful relationships with local leaders, church leaders on the ground, and we're excited to see what God is doing in our midst. Now, we'll be planting a church in Zagreb, the metropolitan capital city of Croatia, that's also boasting of a thriving campus of over 70,000 students that's touching the Balkan region. Now, Croatia is part of the Slavic nation in Eastern Europe. It boasts of the most beautiful coasts, mountains, national parks, snowy winters, and thank God, magical summers. Now, the good thing is that the most beautiful part of Croatia is her people. Croats are honest, hospitable, and family people. They love the outdoors, they embrace the quality of life, and they hang around 3-hour cups of coffee. That's my type of people. Now, behind this veil, unfortunately, not everything is as it seems. Since the 11th century, Croatia has always been under other nations' rule, led by communistic leaders and facing destructive wars. Religion has always been a dominant factor in this nation, with 87% of this nation finding their personal identity and national pride in being Roman Catholic, while the evangelical church is less than 1% and even exceeded by the Muslim community. Oppressive corruption and bribery is literally causing immigration to skyrocket. And unfortunately, there is a rising generation of young people that are following in the footsteps of secularism and postmodernism like the rest of Europe. Now, as you study the culture and you get to know the people, you're left with a sense of pessimism and hopelessness and helplessness. There's a resistance towards change and innovation and leadership. Croatia is thirsty for hope, but thank God we have the answer. You know, there's this beautiful etymology, or rather a legend of how Zagreb, the capital city, got its name. They tell the story that in the 14th century, Croatia was hit by a severe drought, and the people were sent about to go and search for water, and in frustration and desperation, the priest that was residing over this pulled out his sword and he struck the ground and he pierced it into the soil. And as he pulled it out, to his amazement, water started gushing out. And he shouted, "Zagrabite! Zagrabite!" which means to grab or to scoop. And the people ran like crazy and they grabbed the water and they drank, and their thirst was quenched. And they started distributing this water as they scooped, and the drought was ended. Now, listening to this story, there is like a prophetic ring to this. Because today, Croatia is really facing a spiritual drought, but it's not the land that's thirsting for water. It's souls that thirst for eternal life. And people are running after cisterns of sin and wells of works righteousness and false ideology to quench their thirst, but they're always left thirsty. But thank God that we know that we have a high priest in Jesus. You know, and he did not strike the ground or pierce the soil, but he himself was struck. And on the cross, he was pierced in his side. He died for our sin and he was poured out. And as we come to him and we zagrabite, we scoop, we drink of him, our thirst will be quenched. And all of us who came to him and drank are also called to go and share. Now today we are looking for a group of leaders who will also be willing to go with us, either short-term or long-term. Leaders who will make their way with clarity in their hearts and the conviction of the call into the dry paths of the campus, the thirsty lands of the community and the parched lands of the marketplace. Leaders who will take that eternal life that flowed from the cross. And if that is you and you want to respond to this call of God, or maybe you want to find out more, we want to invite you to our virtual vision night. Now, with this video, we've provided a link and also all the information that's needed. Please go and follow the link, complete it, and we will be in contact with you as soon as possible. Now, perhaps you are called to stay right where you are, or maybe you're called for the marketplace, but you want to be part of this vision. by partnering with us financially, where we are the hand and you the arm, enable us to reach out, to scoop, and to touch a nation together. If that is you and you want to partner with us financially, would you also please complete the following link that's provided and we'll be in contact with you personally. Now guys, we are so expectant to get to that nation, to lovingly fall into the rhythms of life with that nation, to point people to Jesus through intentional life-on-life discipleship, and to see the gospel flow into every crevice of society and to touch the Balkans. Why don't you join us?